We can't just have all giants. What kind of small guys?
Like, he's got to get him. He's got to get him.
We got to pack it up.
He said, because if we don't get it, somebody else is going to get it.
And drink straight out the bottle.
Cheers.
Let me talk to you. What's going on, guys? Who Effing Knows podcast, season 2, episode Who Effing Knows.
Damn, you
Dave,
ain't
I
let me
got a
get my
question for you.
hold on.
Oh,
You
go
ain't
ahead,
even
go
let me get. You ain't even let me get my yeah off.
Pop off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up? What's your question?
What do you think the Native Americans thought when they saw the Pilgrims roll up for the first time?
Shit.
Like, dudes just wearing pantaloons. They got friggin' wigs on, like these big white wigs full of powder. You think they're just like, look, what are these guys doing? Like, what is happening here?
They thought there was no threat, huh?
And then the guns came out, and that was it.
Yeah.
They said, "Gak, gak." Our land is our land. Your land is our land.
Yeah.
From California to here.
Oh,
Welcome to the Who
Oh.
Effing Knows podcast. Insulting Native Americans everywhere.
my
For
people.
the record, we're both Native
Yeah.
Americans, so miss us with that. I don't know. I thought it was funny. It's the first thing I thought of. What do you
Back.
think the first interaction was like?
I don't think it was a good one.
No.
Uh,
You think
how
it
do
was
we
tense?
imagine this? How do we imagine this conversation went? Let's say you're the I'm the Pilgrims. I'm rolling up on you. What's your greeting as the Native Americans?
I'm standoffish.
Or-
I want to know who you are and why are you here? Because first of all,
Yeah.
you look weird. All right.
Yeah,
I don't know what you're doing over
I look
here.
like
It's
I'm
a
from-
little-
look like I'm from the past, from a different time.
or the future. If you think about it, Native Americans
That's
probably
true.
rolling out with like
That's
some,
right.
some pelts. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And then is it bad that I think of I guess I say the founding fathers. It's a whole different timeline, but I say the founding fathers because I picture them the same. Is it bad that I think of all these dudes as like just a bunch of dweebs? Like, who's running around looking like that? Who
think they
looked
were-
in that? Well, they didn't have mirrors, but
So
I was
you
gonna
think
say
they
who
were
looked in the mirror and was like this.
Well, you think they were considered cool for their time? Like some random dude was walking on the street, like that dude looks dope in those pantaloons.
Yo, that soccer mom cut and the pantaloons. Whew. And he got
Rocking-
he got the
He's got
Ezekiah
his shoe-
5s on.
I was
Like,
about to say.
Like, what? I don't even
Bro,
know.
look
man.
at that dude's hat.
Right? That thing tall. Whoo. When I get me some money, I'm gonna have me a tall hat like that.
Hey, size mattered. You know what I mean?
Hey, yo. Oh man. And then here we are, giving thanks.
Little hats matter. You know what I mean?
Little hats do matter, man. I'm a dad hat guy. It's tiny.
Agree.
I don't like how that came out, but you know, it is what it is. Ah, man, here we are giving thanks. You know, what are we? We're when this comes out, we'll be like a week and a half away from Thanksgiving.
Something
Dave,
like that.
as
a week
the
from
great
Thanksgiving
Coco
today, right?
Melon. Yeah, I think so. I don't know.
Yep.
No, maybe.
I've lost all track of days. I can't help you with this conversation.
All I know is my daughter's out of school, so probably maybe.
go.
And their
The great
feast is
Coco
tomorrow.
Melon. I don't love
Yeah,
Coco
so-
Melon, but continue.
As the great Coco Melon, or maybe it was Little Johnny, or one of those random YouTube shows that I hate that my daughter watched. What are you thankful for? What are you thankful for? You know what I'm talking about? No.
What am
I
I
missed-
thankful for? I'm just gonna blow right past that.
No
I-
respect.
I am thankful for my little humans. At this moment, you know what I'm really thankful for? I'm gonna give my wife a shout out right now, because I have been at work, for people who don't know, since the first of the month, every single night. So she has been at home alone with 2 tiny humans and 2 dogs that, as you're aware of, don't listen. They're not well behaved dogs. And she's been doing that all by herself since the beginning of the month. And then I'm gonna have one day off, and then she's gonna do it again till the end of the month. So shout out to her for being super mom right now. So that's what I'm thankful for at this moment. if I can be serious.
We love a good super mom. That's a nice wholesome answer. I love it. Speaking of your dogs, have we ever talked about that you literally named your dog DOG? Have we said that on the podcast? Because I kind of want to pick at you for that for a second. Who names their dog DOG? Like the spelling of like, what if I name my daughter DAUGHTER and I was just like DAUGHTER like every time I called her? How would that come across?
First off, it's spelled DIOGEE. Thank you very much. Secondly, I would argue that there's no better or no more fitting name for my dog than what his name is. And I will also say that that naming rights for the second dog were taken away from me.
Rightfully so.
I think Courtney was
supermodel.
Yeah, I think she was hesitant to give me naming rights on the children.
I could see that.
But
no, it would be Dave one and Dave too. Oh, yeah, BOY.
BOY didn't quite have the flow she was going for, I guess.
BOY,
oh, man,
that'd be rough. I had
Go ahead.
The joys of recording over Zoom or StreamYard or anything.
Well, like I didn't know if you were done with me giving you an explanation on my dog's name. Although the explanation I have is that's what he is.
The problem is, and this happens in conversation in life, like I see this all the time, when someone has a thought, they want to get it out. And on Zoom or StreamYard, it's a lot harder. Like when you're in person, you see the body language and you'll kind of like stop and you'll let them talk. But like even just now, when you had that thought, as I was like talking about StreamYard, like you just went with it. And that always happens with everybody. And it's like, I do it all day on business calls and it's tough. Just knowing to shut up on my end is difficult. So, I forgot what I was even talking about. I am thankful for life, man. I'm grateful. I'm just grateful for everything. I'm grateful for everything I have. Obviously, my family first and foremost. The ability to come on here, do this podcast, even when I don't want to. Let's be honest. This is a grind sometimes. Thankful for the people that tune in and listen. Even if you don't listen to the whole thing, or if you do, I guess you'll hear this part. If you don't, seeing the clips, people that see the clips and talk to me about it, even if you don't comment on it, it means the world to me. So I'm thankful for everything, man. There's so many blessings in this life and we look over them or pass over them so much. And I don't know. I thought it'd be cool to bring up what we were thankful for, even though it's not Thanksgiving yet, but that's it. I could go on a whole diatribe, but I'll stop.
Yeah. I'm with you, man.
Yeah.
Just thankful for, like you said, just life. Life is good. Some days are rough. Some days are stressful and things get tough. But when you just kind of take a step back and think about everything you got, it's like, hey, could be a hell of a lot worse,
I do. And you know what else I'm thankful for? Draymond Green.
Oh my
Let's
God.
be real here for a second. Anytime there's a guy that comes across the court when the score is 0-0 in the first quarter and he's just that amped that he wants to choke a dude out, I love it. Thanks for the entertainment. You deserve to be suspended 5 games, but man, was it fun to watch.
He deserves to be suspended more than 5 games. Let's keep it a buck.
What do you think the suspension should be?
Forever.
Just
No.
get rid of him.
Just like indefinite. I don't know, man. Like this is not the first time. It's not the second time. It's not the third time. It's not the fourth time. You see what I'm doing here? It's just like LeBron on a stage. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4. Like this is ridiculous. How bad is it? And you know what? You know what really frustrates me? That the day before, 24 hours before that happened, when that video of Jordan Poole was going around of him being an ass on the sideline, I was like, you know what? Draymond was right. And then a day later, Draymond was not right.
No, they're both wrong. First of all, Jordan Poole's an ass. I tweeted it. We'd have been having some words. If you're my teammate and you ain't even paying attention and then you're talking trash in the middle of us trying to talk about what we're going to do. And then as we walk away, you try to tune in and ask questions, get out of here. Just sit on the bench. We don't need you.
Sometimes people just need to be punched in the face, though. You know what I mean? So
Draymond already did it. It didn't register. It didn't do anything.
I don't know who else needs to do it to him, but I didn't see what happened after that that I want to know what happened on the court after he didn't get the play or anything like that.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
That
I
part
have no
wasn't in the
idea.
video.
Well, here's the problem: nobody watches Wizards games, so I mean,
That's
nobody
true.
knows. Nobody knows
Very
what
true.
happened.
That's right.
Oh
Uh,
man, I was gonna say something about the Draymond thing. Oh, I think it's funny. I was reading the other day. I think it was yesterday. If you think back, right? He's got his kicks down. You know, he kicked people in the nuts for a while. That was his whole thing. He's got his takedowns down. He can trip. He's got the ground game. You know, you ever see him rolling over people? And now he's
Mhm.
showing off his headlocks and his holds. You think he's ready for the UFC? Like, you think we could throw him in there against like Nate Diaz and see what happens?
I think we should. I think we should allow that to happen. Just
think it'd
not
be
even
fun.
like let him build up. Just straight in with Nate Diaz. Let's
No
do it.
training.
Let's see what his
Get in
hands are
there.
like.
Yeah, we haven't seen that really yet.
Well, we did see it with Jordan Poole. If he
Oh,
gets
yeah.
one punch,
There you
hey,
go.
we know he's got. Listen, we know he's got knockout power. You know how they always say when like some guys fights, they're like, oh, this guy, all he needs is one punch. Clearly, if he can catch Nate Diaz lacking for just a second, we might be in business.
Does he have that Derek Lewis power? Like, can he get his butt
Mm.
whooped for 4.5 rounds and then just one punch, boom?
It might
And then
be,
we're
man.
humping the
We've-
ground, taking off our pants, saying our balls are hot.
I don't know what Nate Diaz's chin is like compared to Jordan Poole, but
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say it's way better. I've seen Nate Diaz take some beatings and just
Yeah.
come right back for more, and it's every time shocks me. I feel like sometimes I'm like praying for him. I'm like, bro, like you have a family, like just you have people that care about you. Just sit down. You're ruining your
I don't know.
brain.
I don't know another fighter that I've seen take more of a beating, to be honest. Off the top of my head, I
mean-
can't think of another.
You know, and the thing with him is too, he's got so much scar tissue that even if he's not taking a beating, he starts bleeding like immediately, and then it's just so ugly. Like it looks like he's taking a beating, and he just stands tall and takes blow after blow, bloody as hell, and he keeps coming. And it's just like, man, the entertainment factor is there. I'll tell you that much.
Do you think that Samoa Joe would be proud of Draymond Green's headlock?
Nah, it's a little weak, you know. Like he obviously he hooks him good, right? Like he locks
Right.
it in pretty good. But I don't know. I didn't see him fading. You know, I didn't see the eyes starting to close. It was more of just like him being drug away. And then you got Cat. Like, first of all, did you see the video? Have you analyzed the video? Carl
well,
Anthony
my-
Towns.
The best
looks
part
like
is
he's
like
trying.
the best part is Rudy being like, is this happening? What is happening? Rudy never sees who does it, but you know he knows who it is. He's like, I know this is Draymond. Why is he doing this? Other than he's Draymond. What is going on? Where are my teammates? Like,
I don't know if it was acting or what. Carl Anthony Towns, if you go look at the video, the expression on his face, I mean, he's like, "Ugh," like it looks like he's trying so hard and he's just not doing
Well,
anything. Like, I don't know
his
what
face,
he's
it's one of those things. It's one of those things where his face looks like he's trying, but if you look at his arms, like there's no flexing going on. He's just kind of like, no, don't do that. No,
He's just like, oh, Rudy,
And that- is that-
no.
it is in the. But you think what Carl Anthony Towns voice do you think he used right there? Because you know he's famous for like switching his voice up sometimes. He was definitely in the no, don't do
Oh,
that
he
voice.
was- yeah. Hey, don't do that, Rudy. I need to help
then-
Rudy. I don't know. I got nothing.
Ant came flying in. And he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm about to help my teammate." Then he realized it was Rudy Gobert, and he was like, "Never mind." Nobody
Poor
likes Rudy
Rudy.
Gobert. Like,
No-
Anybody
nobody
else?
likes him.
yeah, Rudy Gobert started COVID. You know what I mean? So like, he kind of deserved that.
It's poor Rudy. Yes, that situation.
Rudy.
is
That was
the
karma.
wildest thing.
Dude.
It was karma. It was totally karma. But it was not Rudy Gobert's fault that the NBA got shut down. That was just step number one. Okay, it could have been anybody else. It was still going to happen.
Rudy Gobert,
But it
with
was
patient
hilarious.
Zero.
That's
I was
insane.
thinking, for some reason, like lately, the like COVID times has just been like a big topic of conversation. Like just in my life for some reason. Like I was getting my hair cut today and late I was cutting my hair. We were just talking about like when we both went to Disney during COVID and how wild it was and things like that. The wildest thing about COVID was when was it Tim Allen that got was it who
Tom Hanks. I
yeah,
think
Tom Hanks.
he caught COVID.
That was
Yeah.
it was Tom Hanks. That was when that news came out, everybody was like, "Oh, this is real." For some reason, when it happened to Tom Hanks, everybody was like, "Oh my god,
not
COVID is
not
real."
Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump
Yeah.
can't have COVID.
Not Woody. Like
Right, Woody. Yeah,
can't take Woody from us. Just like
take anyone
the
but
wild,
Woody.
the wildest times. Oh man. It's so
Speaking of giving
crazy to-
blame,
yeah.
speaking of giving
Who we
blame,
giving-
I,
who we
I have a question. I have a question because this came up yesterday. Actually, there was a situation a while ago. I want you to tell me if this person is at fault or what your thoughts are. Okay, and I'm going to paint the whole picture first. Okay,
Right,
so
go ahead.
say someone is having a surprise party. They don't know they're having a surprise party. Obviously, it's going to be like a surprise trip for their birthday, right? Their wife is setting it up. You're friends with the guy, right? And like everyone knows but the guy. He thinks he's doing something else. He thinks it's just like a thing with him and his friends, like a very small thing at this one place, but it's really going to be this other massive thing. You've kept it a secret for months. Nobody knows. He's none the wiser. And then literally the night before, I'm talking 10 p.m. as you're finishing up packing, you start getting a million texts. And it's like, oh my God, I can't believe you would do that, blah, blah, blah. Here's what happened. There was a Facebook post, had nothing to do with any type of trip, vacation, birthday, nothing. A coworker of a person that's going on the trip randomly comments under it and says, hey, so jealous of you. Have fun on the trip tomorrow, and says exactly what the person's doing. The guy whose birthday it is sees that, and then instantly everything's ruined. Who's at fault?
The person with the post. You can't say anything. You can't
What if
say
the post
anything.
is not about a vacation at all? It's not even about leaving. It's literally like Derek Carr is the worst quarterback ever. And then the comment under it is, hey man, so jealous that you're going on a cruise tomorrow. Have fun.
Did you ruin somebody's surprise?
It wasn't me. It was someone else posting under me, and it ain't my fault. And I want it to be clear.
Okay. I feel like you probably could have just waited and been like,
Waited on what?
when they were there already.
What was
You
I
couldn't wait.
wait on what though? What action did I take that led to him finding out? That's what I'm trying
I
to
don't
figure
know.
out. How am I to blame? I could have just rolled out of bed. Somebody could have randomly posted on my wall, hey, you're going on a cruise tomorrow. I'm so jealous. And I'm like, I didn't do it. I didn't say
But
anything
you-
about it. I didn't even acknowledge it.
Whoever said where the trip was is who is at fault here.
Okay.
That's
So
what I'm
not me.
getting at. I guess. I guess not you. I don't know. I don't know where you are in this situation. I don't know what role
I
you're
was-
playing.
So I was the friend. I was going on the cruise with my buddy for his 30th birthday or something like that. And a guy he doesn't even know that I used to work with randomly posted under a post that had nothing to do with vacation or anything. Like just randomly posted, oh, so jealous, man. Can't believe you're going on a cruise tomorrow. Guess I won't see you at work. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, why would you do that?
You couldn't get to
And-
it quick
and,
enough to remove it
to-
or block it
No,
or
I was-
report it.
I was actually at the gym at the time. I was trying to get a late workout in before going on the cruise the next day. Didn't have my phone on me. And then when I picked my phone up, I had text messages. And I was like, fuck. I was like,
Are
I
you
don't
going
know.
on a cruise tomorrow? What's happening here?
no. This was
Oh,
years ago.
oh, okay.
But it came up.
like I was like, are you just going on vacation?
It came up
And
yesterday.
we haven't talked about it.
Yep. Flying out of town tomorrow. We cruise to
I mean-
Alaska. It's gonna be great.
That'd be great. I would love that for you, not for me. but,
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
trying not to say that was me the whole time, but I guess that
well,
was a
I
little too
mean,
cryptic.
Yeah, one can assume this happened in your life.
It literally came up yesterday, and I'm like, how am I still getting blamed for this? This is nonsense.
I was about to tell a story, but it would ruin a surprise that somebody has plans, so I don't want to be that guy.
Don't be that guy.
I'm
Don't
not
do
gonna
it.
do it. And somebody
Don't
close,
do it.
so I don't want to do it.
Mm. Do we both know them?
Yeah, I think so. I think.
Alright.
I don't know. I think so. Actually, I think I've told you about this, but whatever.
It's all right. We'll talk about it later. We don't want to put anybody on blast.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't like. We can talk. Should we talk Saints, Pelicans? Do you want to talk about any of that?
I don't think we need to talk
Right.
Pelicans. I think we have a outlet for that now.
We do.
don't need to force that here. Unless there's
We
like
do.
some fun stuff about the Pelicans you want to talk about.
No, you know.
No, I don't think so.
No.
Saints are on a bye.
No.
It feels like a good time to just stay away from them.
Yeah.
Are you gonna go? Are you? I think the answer to this question is going to be no. So I'll just ask a different question related to it. Are you excited that the Voodoo are somewhat back? Do you like arena football, or did you? I think it was you that told me you didn't really care for arena football.
Yeah, I didn't really like it. I think there was a couple reasons that went into it though. Like, I think the first iteration was really cool. The Tom Benson owned Voodoo team. It felt real. Like it felt well, it was all real, but it felt serious. It felt like a big deal. There was more money behind it, probably is why. And then when the second iteration of the Voodoo came through, it was like a very small time owner who used to own like a not a semi-pro, but like AFL 2, which was like the lower version, but then they moved up to AFL and changed the name of the team as a Shreveport team, I think. Changed it to the Voodoo and moved them here. And it just felt very cheap. It felt like a cheap ripoff of something I had originally liked. And ever since then, I just had a bad taste in my mouth, and I didn't care for it.
I feel like at that time I was too young to realize ownership things and whatever. I think I just saw it as, oh, cool, the Voodoo are back. And I was excited because I liked arena football. But my favorite part about the Voodoo games was always you got to go on the field afterwards and just go play.
Yeah.
And as a kid, that was
I
awesome.
remember
I was upset when the Voodoo left.
The thing about the Voodoo for me, every time I would watch the game, it was the only time in my life where I've looked at a professional sport, I'll put that in quotes, and felt like, oh, I could do that. Because like the whole time I'm looking at the quarterback and I'm like, this quarterback's terrible. Like the field is 50 yards. Like I could play on this. This would be so easy. It was basically flag football. I'm looking at it as flag football. I'm like, I could easily play this sport.
With slightly better blocking because you got a few linemen.
Yeah, you do. I missed my calling. And your guys can get running head starts. Like,
yeah,
bro.
How
I can get a 25 yard.
Let's really look back on that. It's already hard enough for a cornerback to cover a receiver. But hey, you can line up 10 yards backwards and just full sprint, get a running start.
It's insane.
Really
if you're
is.
accurate at all as a quarterback, you're scoring almost every drive.
Oh, man.
It's insane.
There was no more useless position in sports than the AFL running back, because like there was nowhere for them to go. Like you couldn't run like outside zones because there is no outside. It's so small.
Yeah, they'd get like
AFL,
5 yards, and first downs were like 25 or 30 yards or something ridiculous. I don't even remember the rules, but it was like 5 yards carrying ain't getting you nothing.
I don't think there should have been first downs. I think because it was so small, you should have been like, you got to score in 4 plays. Make it happen. And if you don't, each team starts at the 5. And if you don't score in 4 plays, you just start on the other 5. Let's fix it.
Did they start at the 5?
I don't know, man.
I don't.
It's
dude,
so
the
long
rules
ago.
Yeah, it's been a minute. I'll probably watch. I'll be honest. I'll probably catch some games, but I'm not going to seriously watch. Like it's not going to be. And I'm not.
I'm not going to a game, but it's so far.
Yeah, I'm not going to. Is it Shreveport? Lake Charles? Same thing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Not doing all
it's
that.
not the same thing. Lake Charles is way closer, but still.
I want to go to Baton Rouge for the Zydeco game, but even that feels too far. I'm like,
well, hell, that's like an hour and a half away. We could do that.
I know, but for some reason I'm like, you know what it is? It's Baton Rouge. Who really wants to go deal with Baton Rouge, right? Like that it's an hour. It is an hour, like time wise. But when you get through Baton Rouge, there's always traffic, so you got to add another 25 minutes to get wherever you're going. Then you're going all the way to the bridge to go to the River Center, and it's like, Meh. Oh,
Yeah. No comment.
no comment.
Everybody knows Patty does not fox with Baton Rouge.
I didn't tell you about this. It's a little game I want to play. I have 3 hot takes, and I want you to tell me which is your favorite. Which one you agree with the most.
Okay.
Number 1, CJ Stroud is the MVP. Hot take number 2, Mike Tomlin is the greatest coach of all time. Hot take number 3, Steph Curry is responsible for the death of the Midi. Which one do you agree with the most?
So the first one is blasphemy. CJ Stroud
Is
is having a phenomenal season. He's having a phenomenal season, but I don't agree he's MVP. He's rookie of the year, hands down.
Who's the
I don't know who the MVP is right now. I'll be honest with you.
It's going to be a quarterback. Is there a quarterback playing better than CJ Stroud right now?
It's going to end up going to like a big name. It's going to end up going to like Patrick Mahomes or friggin' I don't know, Tua if they finish strong. Like just it's not going to CJ Stroud. Let's be real.
It's not going to. That wasn't my take. My take is that it should. Hot takes here. Hey, listen, somebody's got to get ahead of the take.
All right, here's the one I'm picking. The one I'm picking, I actually slightly agree with the second two. I'll be honest. I could flip a coin and choose either one. I think Mike Tomlin is a phenomenal coach. I don't know if he's the greatest of all time. Phenomenal coach, though. He's slept on big time. He should be talked about with the greats. And I think he is in some circles. But I do agree that Steph is probably, if not wholly, partially responsible for the death of the Midi. And it's not just because he's such a great three-point shooter. It's because people started analyzing the game more when he started taking so many threes, and it led to a lot of the analytics that tell you that the mid-range shot is the worst shot in the game. So now guys don't take it, which I think is dumb. I think mid-range scorers are invaluable in the playoffs, but that's a whole nother story. But yeah, I think I agree with 3. That's me. I'm in.
Steph Curry ruined basketball. He really did. Because he's so good at it. It ruined basketball. We talk about Steph Curry being the most influential player in that conversation we had last week.
Well,
I think it goes. Well, part of it is because of what you just said. Or what I just said. He ruined basketball.
Yeah, I mean, the argument's there.
Trae Young was a super high draft pick. I mean, he was good, but everybody was like, he's gonna be the next Steph Curry.
No one will be the next Steph Curry. Steph Curry is Steph Curry, and there's never going to be anyone like him. There might be people close, but he's Steph, and that's just like nobody will be Ray Allen, nobody will be Michael Jordan, nobody will be LeBron. Like even Kobe was like Jordan, but he wasn't Jordan. You know what I mean? Right. Nobody's ever going to be Steph. Let's be real.
No. Also, circling back to Mike Tomlin. I think most people agree, or most people would say that Belichick is probably the greatest coach of all time, but without Brady, Belichick looks a little funny in the light. You know what I mean? Granted, he's got Mac Jones, but even Sean Payton had a nice record with Teddy Bridgewater and average quarterbacks. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
good. And then wait, is Kenny Pickett really that much better than Mac Jones? Is he?
Here's the thing. I am wholly on board with. I think Bill Belichick may have ruined Mac. It might be Bill Belichick's fault that Mac Jones is as bad as he is right now. Because Mac Jones, when he came in the league that first season, he looked respectable. He looked like, oh, this guy's got something. Maybe like a middle of the pack type quarterback, maybe like a Kirk Cousins on a good day, you know, which is it's good, but it's not great. And then he got Matt. He was like, oh, I'm so freaking confident. We're gonna put Matt Patricia as our offensive coordinator. A guy that's never coached offense in his life. And from then on, Mac Jones has been terrible. And I blame Belichick. That's on him.
I don't know how the Steelers keep getting away with this. Like that, their offense is not good. Like we could say their receivers are always good. You know, the Steelers are going to keep 2 or 3 receivers always. Mm-hmm. And good running backs. Like they got weapons. Their offensive line was terrible. Kenny Pickett is terrible. Like Aaron is a Steelers fan, and even he says Kenny Pickett is terrible. Like, but somehow Mike Tomlin finds a way to just get to 500 every single year. That's got to be frustrating as a Steelers fan to be like, we're not good enough to win a Super Bowl, but we're not bad enough to get a better quarterback than Kenny Pickett. That's got to be so frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. It's tough. It's kind of like shoot, who was the guy years ago who coached the Titans? And like I don't know, he went
Fisher.
500 like every year. Yeah, Jeff Fisher. He was like Mr. 500. Not that Mike Tomlin's Jeff Fisher. He's head and shoulders better than Jeff Fisher.
Right.
But that is frustrating. And guys get fired for mediocrity like that. I will say this about Mike Tomlin. He's a guy that he's such a good coach. No matter how bad his team is, he's going to put them in position to win games. Like no matter what.
That's what I've seen.
I was going to say, and we got to circle that all the way around to the parallels to Sean Payton there. Like we were all over Sean Payton to start the season, but it looks like he's putting it together in Denver. Like that team is playing better, coming together. Unfortunately, like I can't even talk trash about Sean Payton anymore. It's hurting my soul. It's hurting.
You know who is getting away with, or getting skate a little bit is Will Lutz. He hit that game winner the other night, but he missed it, and he got bailed out because the Bills are incompetent.
That's tough.
Also, the 12th man on the field was Damar Hamlin. In case anybody's interested.
Don't do it.
It hurts. That hurts.
Don't do it.
I'm not doing nothing. Not doing
Don't
nothing.
do it.
I'm just saying.
We're not even. Yeah, poor Damar. That
Hey,
was a rough day in
comeback
history.
Comeback player of the year.
Somehow, I turned down.
What are you doing?
Sorry. Somehow I turned you down, and I was like, "What did I do?" I'm back. We back. We never left. Yeah, it was a rough day in history, man. Damar Hamlin. I try not to even think about what happened because it was a weird day. Tulane won the Cotton Bowl though. Let's go.
They did. I forget that happened on the same day. Like never forget that it happened, but I'll forget that happened. Man,
yeah, it was wild. Wild times.
Wild time.
Speaking of, have you seen? Shoot, who is it? What are they? Are they James Madison? James Madison, right? Am I butchering that? You know what I'm talking about?
That's a school. It is a school. I don't know what your question is to be like.
What's the
right
team? Is it James Madison that's 12-0 right now, or not 12-0?
Oh yeah, the ones
James
that
Madison
can't participate in whatever because they're new to Division I or whatever it is.
Did you see that they've gotten legal teams involved to combat that and try and get it overturned?
Yeah, I did see that.
Interesting.
How's that going for them? Do you think they should?
It's not
Do you think
gonna
they should be overturned? I think it's a stupid rule.
I think it's a stupid rule too, but like a rule is a rule and it just is what it is. Like I'll tell my daughter, I tell my wife, I'll tell anybody who'll listen to me, like you live the life that's in front of you, you play the game that's in front of you, you deal with the rules that are a part of the game. Whether it's stupid or not, it's part of the game. And if you can either use it to your advantage or it gets used against you, that's part of the game. You got to deal with it. Get better. Do better.
They can't change that midseason. Like they just can't.
No.
Like sure, address it in the offseason, make a change, but you can't change that midseason and just be like, oh yeah, now you're eligible.
Yeah.
As much as they should be allowed to, because the rule is stupid, because they actually should be at a disadvantage coming up to Division I.
Yeah.
My opinion.
I would think the same. If and here's my take. If for any reason it were to legally get overturned, if somehow a judge rules, oh yeah, they're eligible, like they play a bowl game, there ain't no way that the college football committee is voting them into to any poll to put them into a New Year's Six game. It ain't happening. I'm telling you now. It ain't happening. I don't care who they played. It ain't happening.
Then if they did play Tulane and beat Tulane, it doesn't count. Come on, let me get ahead of it right now. Doesn't count. None of these wins count. Vacate him.
Fake news.
As far as if they don't play Tulane, they deserve everything in the world. If they do, as far as I'm concerned, James Madison doesn't exist.
I don't even know who they are. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Nope. Couldn't tell you. James or Madison. Like, so, you know what I mean?
I don't either, actually. It is getting a little dicey though, man. Tulane's giving me a scare. You know, they're squeaking these things out. They're leaving the door open for any other any other team to come in and snatch this New Year's Six game. And I mean, they still got to get through UTSA, and they still got to get through. Well, even this weekend, they got to get through. Shoot, I'm blanking on everything. Florida Atlantic, and then the championship. I mean, what you originally thought was an easy schedule ain't looking so easy anymore because, man, they're grinding it out. They got some injuries too. It's tough right now. It's scaring me.
They have
You know.
like one convincing win that
It's
I
week
can
one.
remember, like week 1.
Mm-hmm.
And
was
after
week
that,
one.
I'm like, ugh.
Well,
You
it was
know?
week 1, and then they beat Southern Miss pretty handedly.
Yeah, that's
It
true.
wasn't great, but they
That's
beat
true.
them. Like, it was never a question. And then obviously the Ole Miss game, like they hung with them, so they looked like they belonged. But then ever since then, it's just been kind of like
But
a fledgling.
this is the weird thing though, right? Because they're getting up on teams. Like they're scoring and they're getting up. They just can't hold on to the lead. So it's not like they're
Yeah.
not dominating teams. Like they do what they need to do, but then they just can't do it for 4 quarters. You know?
I don't know. I don't know if it's the perfect storm. The last couple weeks, you've had teams that have changed quarterbacks, like right before the game, or in game, and they've had quarterbacks that have come in that are pretty talented, if you ask me. Like they've got talent, they've just never put it together, and they look really good. But it's like the defense was something we hung our hat on early on in the year, and now it looks like it's kind of slipping away. You're giving up a lot of big plays. Much like the Saints, you're not scoring in the red zone. Like it's tough and it's ugly, and they're grinding it out, but it is not pretty to see, and it's scary. I like to always, every time people, like, even with the Pels, when people are like, how y'all feeling about the game tonight? And you're supposed to be nervous. I always post the Patrick meme or whatever, where he's just like, home. 'Cause that's normally how I feel. But man, I'm getting a little worried.
I definitely don't feel, if they do get into a New Year's Six this year, I definitely don't feel as confident this year as I did last year. I don't like this like conversation that I'm seeing on Twitter in like the Tulane Twitterverse, because everybody it's like you can't criticize them right now. Everybody's like, oh, there's never should be a point where you're not thankful to be 9-1 at Tulane, and I'm like, yeah, like that, like it feels good considering what they were, but also
Right.
like if you're trying to become one of these schools, like a legit Power 5 school every year, like
Mhm.
you can't just be like, oh yeah, we'll accept mediocrity even if it's results in a win. Like if
Yeah.
you want to, if you're trying to play with the big dogs every year, like you gotta, you know what I mean? Like you can't just be like thankful they won a game. Like, yeah, great, they won. Good teams find a way to win, but also good teams don't do this every week.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong, and I think it comes with the territory. I mean, if, like you said, if you want to be one of the big boys, if you want to put those expectations on yourself every year, then this is what's going to happen when you're not taking care of business in the way you're expected to take care of business. Are you still in the driver's seat? Yep. Can you be positive about that? Yep. Is there concern with the way you've won games? Yep. I think Nick Anderson had a long post the other day that he said it best, man. He was like, listen, every team's different. This isn't last year's team. They're still 9-1. They're still in the driver's seat, basically. I'm paraphrasing. I don't remember exact words, but so he put the positive spin on it that you needed to. But I think that the message I got was like, hey, every team's different, and no matter how you get there, you got there. So that's how I'm trying to choose to look at this right now. But you hope that there's a little more coming.
Yeah, the season can be like, you can look at the season as a success, but at the same time want more. You know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say? Like yeah, I'm happy that they keep winning, and if they end up going with one loss the whole year, even if they lose in a New Year's Six game, like to get there in back-to-back years is huge.
Massive.
But I guess at that point it doesn't matter how you performed in the wins. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't know, man. Like when you look at it season to season, it doesn't matter because you're not looking at individual regular season games, really, right?
Right.
Like nobody's gonna remember what happened against Nichols if they go to another New Year's Six game. you know, or
Yeah.
that might have been a bad example, but you know what I'm trying to say. But week to week in season, you're like, all right, I'd like to see some improvement, and we're not. Yes, we're getting the end result we want, but you want some momentum. They don't feel they're winning without feeling like they have any momentum going into this. The most important stretch is going to be UTSA Conference Championship Bowl game.
Yeah. And
So
you made a great point. They're winning, like what you mentioned, like feeling like they don't have any momentum. Some of these wins against these teams that are well below 500 that you are heavily favored against, you're eking it out. And not only are you eking it out, it's not like you're having some last minute heroic touchdown. I guess you did a couple weeks ago with the Michael Pratt like scramble and run in for a touchdown, but like most of these games, you're just trying to bleed the clock. It looks like you're just trying to hang on, which feels icky. Like it just doesn't feel good. It's like, man, we're just like hanging on against this team. Like we shouldn't even be in this position.
especially
So
when
that's
you
the
have
part that's like, yeah,
especially when you have a quarterback who has high or has like real NFL expectations, and the best quarterback in your school's history. Like I want them to, like we always talk about it. They're going to be a run first team. That it is what it is, and they have a really good running back. But like you have this guy at quarterback. I want them to go win a game. Like don't play not to lose a game at the end. Like go get first downs. Go get more points. Like, and I mean, I don't know. I'm sure they're trying and
for sure.
You know what I mean? It's not like they're not trying not to score, just run out the clock. They just are. I don't know. I just want to. It does feel like we're being a little bit like we got one season's worth of like that kind of success, and now it's like more, please. Like, you know
Please,
what I mean?
sir. Can I have another? Hey, listen, you're not wrong. Like I am fully. If I take a step back and I just look at this like with perspective, it's amazing. It's amazing. They won the damn Cotton Bowl last year, and they're 9-1 right now, and if they do what they're supposed to, they're in another New Year's Six game. 2 years in a row in a New Year's Six game. If you'd have told me that 3 years ago, I would have laughed. No way. Not a chance. And like, you're here now, but you play the game that's in front of you, right? Like I just said that. Like that's how my brain works. Like this is where we are. So this is what the expectation is.
Yep.
Go get it.
Yeah. No, that's what I think I just look at it as I don't know, man. Like I just want the momentum. It's just like I want the momentum because last year they had the momentum going into the bowl game, and it made us feel like we had a real chance. If they kind of like stumble into it again, like if they stumble into a New Year's Six this year, I'm gonna be like, just don't embarrass me in front of the homies.
And I know last year, well, that's how I felt last year. I was like, just don't embarrass us. Like, go look like you belong. And then they won the damn game. And I was like, damn. You know, and it's hard to compare it to last year, but they had some losses last year too. You know, it's not like last year we weren't even sitting at 9-1 right now. I think they had lost 2 games, and then they beat was it Memphis or UCF? They had to end up beating UCF twice or something. I don't remember what it was. They played UCF twice. They lost the first time, beat them the second time or something like that. I forget what it was. It's not fresh in my brain right now. But yeah, I mean, they had adversity last year and they finished strong, and then they carried that into the bowl game. So I mean, maybe you see the same thing. I mean, hell, last year they lost to Southern Miss. You know, like there's always ups and downs in a season. So
right,
and they're not healthy right now.
What's crazy is record-wise, it could end up being a better season than last year. Yeah, which is kind of insane because I think everybody can kind of agree last year's team was better. At least it feels that way.
I don't want to make any you know, knowing some of these, having talked to some of these guys, I feel bad making a claim one way or the other.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it. Like it's not saying this team is bad. Like last year's team is the best Tulane team in history. That's
I'll say, I mean, I could agree with that. I think last year's team was definitely more exciting. More exciting, like, for sure.
I say it all the time. Like, I don't know. That's a weird comparison, I guess. But like the Saints won a Super Bowl, and that might not even be their top 4 best team in history. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
we squandered away so many great teams, and it pisses me off, and I don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah. It's not a shot. Like I'm not taking a shot at this year's team. This year's team is very good, but I don't know. Maybe it's just expectations, I guess, is all it is. Which it's weird to come in this season for Tulane and being like, yeah, the expectation is New Year's Six again. Like, it's kind of crazy.
Well, I don't think it was though. I don't think the
I
expectation
think
was New Year's Six. I think it has played out that way. And then when you saw it was in grasp, it was like, okay, you got an easy schedule, go get it. And it feels like they're not going and getting it.
yeah,
And that's
I think at the beginning of the year we both said straight up like win the conference again. Was fair expectations because of who left and the level of competition now.
Yeah.
Isn't as deep.
It's still going to be tough. I mean, you got SMU and you got UTSA.
Still
that are-
really good teams. There's just not
Yeah.
the 4 or 5 good teams like there were
Yeah.
before.
Well, I mean that championship. Well, the last 2 weeks of the season. First of all, you have to win your last game. That's going to be a tough one because that team is playing well in conference play. And then you have either them or SMU, depending on how it shakes out in the championship, right? Like,
I'm pulling it.
tough.
I want it to be SMU just because that was my prediction at the beginning of the year is Tulane SMU. I was going hard for SMU being a good team. So just for it to be them two at the end and Tulane winning would be nice. Just to be right.
yeah, you just want Miami West. Let's be real. I know you.
No.
Cool. Any games? You want to play any games, or you just want to get the hell out of here?
Do we have any? I mean, you got any games?
I'm full of games.
I was trying to think of something fun that was like Christmas related, like your favorite like Christmas treats. But I didn't know if there were such a thing. I keep seeing this is what makes me think of this. I keep seeing, obviously right now holiday drinks are a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep seeing them everywhere. And I start thinking like, what are my favorite Christmas treats? And I'm like, the Little Debbie Christmas tree cakes. We've already had that conversation.
Oh yeah.
Are pretty high up there. My grandma gets me they're just like little Christmas sugar cookies is all it is, but I love them. Like I can get these kind of sugar cookies anytime through the year, but because they're Christmas themed, they're like special, So I just started thinking like, what are my favorite Christmas treats? You have any?
I don't think that I do, to be honest. And it's probably because I'm not a big treat guy. Like I don't eat a lot of.
Well,
You
not
know
even
what?
not even treat. Like you're a big cocktail guy. Like you don't have a go-to like. I saw you
Not yet.
what you posted on the pod page your coffee yesterday. I didn't even see what
I
that
do
was.
like that. Okay, so there's some seasonal things I like. I do like,
Yeah.
and I know that you'll hate it. I do like it's like a peppermint something coffee that Cool Brew puts out. Love it. It's just got a hint of peppermint to the coffee, and it's phenomenal, man. I don't know. It's just like my favorite thing. I'll buy like they're rarely in the store, so when I see them around this time, I buy like 3 of them every time I'm there, just to make sure I get some.
What's weird for me with the peppermint thing, like I love peppermints. Like if you give me a bowl of peppermints, I'll pick at them all day long. I don't. It's not. I don't think I don't want a peppermint coffee, but the peppermint flavor isn't the issue for me. It's when it becomes like chocolate mint. Like no, can't do that. That's where the issue is. We've had that conversation multiple times. I can't do that. But just regular peppermint, I think I could get with that.
Yeah, it's that. And then there's one other thing that I actually really like, and I don't do it often because A, I'm not trying to gain a bunch of weight, and B, nobody else is really around to eat them. I used to make these pecan pies, and a lot of people think, oh, pecan pie. Yeah, I love pecan pie. They have to be these miniature pecan pies. Like I'll buy the small shells, and there's just something about the small pies. They come out like more moist and just so much better. Like they can literally sit for like a week and they're still like just as moist and like delicious as opposed to like a big pie. Like I feel like those big pecan pies are gross. I think they get dried out within like an hour, and I'm like, I don't want this. But that's probably my other thing. Is like a nice pecan pie.
Interesting.
It's my jam. I might have to do that. It's pecan pie season.
There you go. See, now I got you wanting to cook desserts and be fat.
I'm not going to eat it though. That's the problem. I'm just going to make them, and the house is going to smell like it, and be like, "Oh, this is great." And then I'm going to text people and be like, "Hey, I have these," and then I'm going to have to go drop them off to 20 people.
Nice.
So, yeah,
you can keep
that's
one.
it.
I don't need one for me. Just give mine away to somebody else.
All you got to do is try it.
I don't know
All
if
it takes is
you know
one.
what. I don't know if Cordy likes pecan pies.
You tried this pecan pie. I'm telling you, you'll be hooked. Once you pop.
I would try it if you
fun
made it.
smell.
I would try it. But
There you go. Oh, and these things. I've been munching on these things. You can't see. Well, they're blue diamond almonds, snickerdoodle. They're like a little cinnamon.
One of the things I ordered that I sent you a picture of is
Mhm.
snickerdoodle.
Oh, we in there.
I don't like snickerdoodle cinnamon.
Yeah, that's true. That's you. All right. Let's
It's
close
no
this out.
cookies and cream.
No
What
comment.
what a way to end it.
Just a creamy guy. That's it.
Anyway.
Until next time, everybody go to theknow.com. Everything is
Yep.
on theknow.com. Also check out the YouTube. Everything's on the YouTube now too. If you just want our videos, reels, clips, well, our reels and clips are on our YouTube. But like the full episodes, that's all on Be in the Know, or just search the Know. You'll find it on YouTube. We just started a Pelicans thing called State of the Pels. Man, it was a hell of a lot of fun. We got a lot more coming with that. I think I've got some ideas on that too. I'll talk to you offline about that. But yeah, I mean, listen, always fun stuff coming from us. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. We need more of that, man. I don't want this to fall to the wayside as we take on new projects. This is my favorite podcast, and this is our original podcast. And I hope you guys continue to follow us. For everybody who does right now, I really appreciate it. But man, we need the support. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's keep it going. Let's roll with the let's get some momentum here, I guess. What you got, Dave?
Ditto.
Anything else?
No, ditto.
Ditto.
I let you be the voice. That's right there.
I love it. That's it. Until next time, we appreciate y'all. See you next week.
Later.